Welcome to Coronavirus The Rundown. I'm Usher Qureshi. Each day we showcase how American communities are taking on the coronavirus. We also break down the headlines. Today, a major step in prevention. The first Americans are now getting an experimental coronavirus vaccine. Pfizer and a German company teamed up to make it. They started testing it in healthy adults in the U.S. this week and have been testing it on people in Germany since last month. If the test is successful and everything goes smoothly, the vaccine could be available this fall. The White House Coronavirus Task Force is resuming its meetings. One member of the task force, Dr. Anthony Fauci, is officially scheduled to testify to a Republican-led Senate committee next week. This week, the White House blocked his testimony to a Democratic-led House committee. The new batch of Payment Protection Program loans for small businesses is more than half gone. The Small Business Association reports more than $176 billion of the $310 billion is spoken for. Tens of thousands of businesses have applied for aid and are waiting for approval. Stores across the country are struggling right now. Alicia Nieves found out coronavirus is expected to change what the landscape of retail looks like.
Retail is in the red across America. The apparel chain J.Crew has become one of the first major retailers to file for bankruptcy since the coronavirus pandemic forced a wave of store closures across the country.
You had this phenomenon where you had this overbuilt retail and then combine that with the pressures from e-commerce. And it was already a really volatile sector. And then just throw COVID-19 into it and it's likely that this is going to be the thing that kills off an awful lot of this retail.
Rick Stein is with the Urban Decision Group in Ohio. His company conducted a commercial analysis during COVID-19 to quantify the impact the closures have had on retail.
None of these businesses have had plans for a zero revenue situation. We're estimating as many as 40% of existing small store clothing retailers, apparel, could close.
UDG's research shows so many small apparel retailers are planning to close their stores for good because in addition to zero or near zero revenue, they are struggling with unknowns surrounding reopening, questioning how many customers will be able to enter their stores at one time, and will customers even be able to try on clothes?
You put all those things together, it could spell the death knell for a lot of retail.
Across the industry, around 15,000 stores are expected to close this year, which is at least 50% higher than last year's record high. However, most retailers, especially big-name chains, won't completely cease to exist. They'll likely file for bankruptcy under Chapter 11 and restructure.
The big push years ago was to be in every mall, to have every, locations everywhere. I think the exact opposite will be now.
Chapter 11 will allow most retailers to reorganize the business with less brick-and-mortar stores and more of an online presence. J.Crew filed for bankruptcy under Chapter 11, but while most retailers on the brink are expected to do the same, they aren't expected to file suit until more states reopen.
Normally, you liquidate your inventory in some stores to provide liquidity for the other stores to continue. That can't work right now because there's just no opportunity to do that. You can't really do a going out of business sale online. At least no one's really tried it the same way. So I think that's also partially holding back.
Most analysts agree that mass closures of retail brick-and-mortar stores were going to happen, but spread out over the next 5 to 10 years. COVID-19 has mostly sped things up significantly. I'm Alicia Nieves reporting.
A model used by the White House now forecasts 134,000 deaths from coronavirus. That's nearly double its last forecast of around 72,000. There are also questions about new estimates first reported by the New York Times. It reports internal CDC documents forecast up to 200,000 new cases and 3,000 deaths a day in early June. But according to the Washington Post, the model's creator says the numbers are possible ranges and not forecasts. The World Health Organization wants more countries to check for older undiagnosed coronavirus cases. It comes after French researchers found a patient had the virus on December 27th. That's 2 days before China reported its cases to the WHO and a month before France's first reported cases. The WHO says discovering earlier cases will help experts understand when exactly it started and how it spread. Well, as more people stay home and cook their own meals, firefighters are responding to more kitchen fires. As Kai Beach found out, they're now stressing safety.
911, what is your emergency?
Basically, that is an airborne fuel that the grease will just ignite and you'll have a worse fire.
Coronavirus concerns have sparked an increase in fire danger.
We've probably seen over the last week perhaps as much as a doubling of the number of kitchen fires.
Robert Rylage of Coleraine Fire in Ohio says stay-at-home orders have more people making more meals at home, and that could be a recipe for disaster.
Folks are starting something cooking and then leaving to do some other task. Leaving that unattended is causing primarily the kitchen fires.
Other fire departments across the country are reporting similar increases in kitchen fires.
Remember to check doors for heat before opening them.
According to the National Fire Protection Association, cooking is the leading cause of home fires and fire injuries, and they're becoming more prevalent during this pandemic.
With people being at home all the time now, which is very different from usual.
Wendy Gianni King of the Wilmington, North Carolina Fire Department is working to keep her community safe during the COVID crisis.
Turkey is frying.
That's why her team has turned to social media to inform the public on how to reduce the risk.
When it comes to having everybody at home all the time, the medicines and the matches and the cleaning products, hide them away. Get them out of the sight and out of the reach of children or bored teenagers even.
Fire experts say the best protection is prevention. It's also important to check smoke detectors and make an escape plan.
Every second counts.
Doing these things will protect your family.
Children can sleep through a smoke alarm even if it's right next to them.
It could also help stop the spread of the coronavirus.
If we don't have a reason to come out of our houses and respond to your house, that's less of a chance of contracting COVID. That's less of a chance of being exposed to COVID.
I'm Kai Beach reporting.
A Boy Scout troop in the Baltimore area just raised thousands of dollars for local first responders. They organized a virtual 5K, asking people to run on their treadmills at home or through their neighborhood. Donations were optional. Organizers say more than 800 people from all over the country participated, raising more than $4,000.
We didn't expect to really break maybe, a couple $100s. We thought maybe we'd be able to buy lunch for, one nursing shift. It's absolutely fantastic that we get to say thank you to our frontline workers.
The money is going to workers at multiple facilities. Well, robots delivering groceries. See how this works and how it could change what grocery shopping looks like. And story time could be crucial for kids right now.
Children's books provide healing even more than a lot of the things that we tend to think actually heal ourselves in the process.
The ways some say these books can be helpful for both kids and adults.
At 9 Central on Court TV.
Automation has become a way of life over the years in things like manufacturing and even some high-tech surgeries. But now with the coronavirus lockdowns, robots are moving into a new frontier, food delivery. Maya Rodriguez has the story.
In this neighborhood, something's afoot. Or rather, a-rollin'.
Everybody loves them. They're adorable. Look at them.
These are the Starship robots. Like a cooler on wheels, they're roaming the streets of this Washington, D.C. neighborhood, carrying deliveries from Broad Branch Market, a grocery store that's been around for more than 100 years.
We're really moving into the next century, aren't we?
Tracy Stannard is the market's owner and original delivery service.
When we started doing delivery, it was all me and my car. So they've really helped me personally.
The Starship Robot Company is having Broad Branch Market try them out. The robot delivery is free. You can request it after ordering from the store through an app. Using GPS and other technology, the robot rolls to any address a mile from the store. It even knows when it's safe to cross the street.
And they give everybody else the right of way.
Yesterday we saw two of these robots facing one another and they couldn't get by, and we had a laugh and we said we just have to try it. milk.
Perry Fergus and Angela Montez decided to order some groceries and sandwiches. Via the app, they could monitor its location and got a notification when it arrived.
It's a great way to help people while we're working through this crisis.
They're also very polite.
From Arizona to Virginia to California.
Excuse me, would you please let me pass?
Okay. As I was saying,
from Arizona to Virginia to California, these robots are rolling their way across communities all over the United States.
Starship Robots plans to expand its reach into other states and for the market beyond 1 mile.
The range is bigger and bigger every day.
Well, at least it's not like, flying yet.
Wheels down for now. In Washington, D.C., I'm Maya Rodriguez reporting.
Well, with more time at home, people are taking up some new hobbies and skills, including gardening. The CEO of Bonnie Plants, that is, estimates 16 million new gardeners have started planting this year, with a lot of it having to do with quarantine. So Bonnie Plants is partnering with Ample Harvest to encourage home gardeners to donate to local food pantries. This is actually something that goes back to the First World War, when food supply was low. The U.S. government asked people to grow vegetables wherever they could, and by 1944, nearly half of all vegetables consumed around the country were grown at home. Today, the average gardener has about a 200-pound surplus of vegetables each year. Folks at Bonnie Plants say donating just one bag of produce can make a difference.
If we can get everyone who's just 1% of everyone who is vegetable gardening, so a very small percentage, to donate one grocery bag of their surplus harvest, that's over 10 million pounds of fresh vegetables that are going to be donated to local food pantries across the United States.
Home gardeners are encouraged to donate any vegetables they choose, but if you're new to gardening, you may want to consider starting off with vegetables that are easy to grow.
Things like tomatoes, zucchinis, cucumbers, watermelons, squash, eggplant. Those are all things that are very easy for home gardeners to grow, that are prolific harvest items.
If you've already got some produce that's ready to go and you're looking for a food pantry to donate to, you can find one at ampleharvest.org. While people are doing what they can to get on track towards some sense of normalcy, our partners at Newsy asked about the path forward for entrepreneurs.
My name is Greg Bishop. I'm the commissioner for the Department of Small Business Services, and I live right here in Brooklyn, New York. We have seen a number of our neighborhood small businesses close. As a city, we knew that we would have to immediately provide resources, but we knew that this required a federal response. As of today, we've awarded over $19 million in grants. We also created a loan program, and we've approved over $8 million in loans, but that was not enough, and we knew it wasn't going to be enough. So we've been working hard to provide technical assistance to our small businesses to help them understand the documentation necessary to participate in the federal programs that were rolled out to help businesses through this pandemic. Our small businesses, who are the backbone of the city of New York, they need to get their fair share. When you think about the fact that some of them have pivoted to provide fresh food, some of them have pivoted to provide personal protection equipment, they have become the life source. But we also have something that we have seen time and time again. Our New Yorkers rising to the occasion. So we have small business owners, restaurant owners who are donating food to first responders. And that is the New York spirit. And that is why we need to support our local businesses. So my advice in terms of how do we look at the path forward for entrepreneurs, for small business owners, is take advantage of our resources. And if you're a retailer, if you're a restaurant, do you have the technology infrastructure? Do you have the ability to deliver? So the first thing we're going to do when life gets back to normal is come out and enjoy a great meal at my favorite restaurant. So a group of my friends, we're going to go out and just celebrate the rebirth of New York City, and we're going to celebrate a stronger New York City.
With everything going on right now, books could be a good way to communicate with your children. Empowered Publicity showcases children's books authors. Its president says he believes reading to kids during the pandemic opens relationships up for more conversation and understanding.
Taking the time to connect with your children and not talking above them, not talking under them, not talking over them, but talking directly to them. The power of communication right now is extremely important. If you're able to share something in a way that they can understand, there's not necessarily going to be as many fears or doubts or insecurities. And even if those do come up, parents are just able to have conversations with their little ones and let them know that everything is going to turn out okay.
He says children's books are an effective way to talk about ideas like death and grief.
I feel that the answer to many of life's problems are found in the form of a children's book. I share this because, children's books are reminding us to not take life way too seriously.
He says kids' books can remind us to live in the moment and to not be so hard on ourselves. Well, a pair of greeting card designers are bringing their art to life in a unique way. How some life-sized cards are paying tribute to those on the front lines.
Keller and Keller, right now.
Welcome back. Our neighborhoods are full of inspirational messages right now, but for two artists who usually design greeting cards, their creations are deeply personal. Lindsay Boat shows us what they hope we can all take away from the greeting cards they've brought to life in a slightly different way.
As artists, we were kind of like, what can we do right now to really inspire people and bring our creativity to life? So we all started talking about these driveway cards.
You'll usually see Amber Goodvin's artwork on a Hallmark greeting card. Now, it has come to life in her Kansas City area neighborhood.
It says, caring heart, capable hands, incredible courage. I think everybody right now knows somebody in their life who is kind of being a hero right now and having to find that courage just to go to work every day.
Hallmark artist Chris Russell's message on his sidewalk card: not all heroes wear capes. His family is proof of that.
She's always been a superhero to our family, and she would never ask for any credit or want any, extra pats on the back.
His wife is a nurse, not asking for any recognition, but honored by the love she and so many other frontline workers have been getting from across the country.
She's been kind of blown away at just how fun and encouraging people have been and supportive to not just her, but to, ER doctors, postal workers. It doesn't just start and stop at the hospital.
I'm just moved by their stories of the courage that they're having to muster to go to work and then go home and see their families.
Amber's niece is a nurse too, along with some of her friends. She hopes her art lets them know what they're doing really matters.
My hope would be that if anybody sees my piece, that they would just feel encouraged by it, and then maybe they would take that encouragement and pass it on to someone else and reach out to someone in their life that needs that encouragement right now.
It was just a good way to share a message and to kind of remind that we're all in this together.
Support we all need right now, coming in the form of life-size cards. I'm Lindsay Boach reporting.
There's a new program matching students with seniors in care facilities, how it's helping relieve some loneliness in seniors while building life skills in students. Welcome back. We like to end the rundown with stories that remind us of the good going on around us. Today, it's a program in Virginia helping brighten some seniors' days. It's called Letters of Love. It connects students with seniors who are isolated in long-term care facilities. The idea is the student writes a letter imagining it's to their grandparent.
We are hoping that this brings that same sense of warmth that you get when a loved one calls you or hugs you or comes to visit you, that this is just going to bring a smile to their face.
The letters not only help those receiving them, they help sharpen the students' writing skills. The program distributes the letters following CDC safety guidelines. Well, that's all the time we have for today for Coronavirus, The Rundown. We'll see you next time. I'm Usher Qureshi. Thanks for joining us.